Are there any first-time visitors tonight? Great, welcome. We hope to have you back again. So we're a nonprofit, a 501c3. So we thrive on your donations, bringing world-class speakers from around the world, and all about bringing you the highest health that you could possibly achieve. So we run and thrive on membership and donations. If you have a cell phone, please silence your cell phones. And if you have a concern about EMFs, feel free to turn them off. And if you have a call during the lecture, please take it outside just so we don't interrupt our speakers. Our restrooms. We have a break about 10 to 9-ish, somewhere around there. And the restrooms are down the hall and to the left on the right side, about 100 yards down, so you get a little exercise in during the break. Okay, does anybody have any announcements that they'd like to make? Anything going on in the neighborhood around health stuff? I know I was talking to Bern Friedlander, one of our practitioners that comes and helps us out in lectures regularly, and he brought up the New Living Expo will be here in April, so that's right around the corner, and he'll be speaking on longevity on a panel there. So, okay, and we also have Weston Price here tonight, so they're going to give a little 5-minute introduction and tell you a little bit about Weston Price. How many people have heard of Weston Price? Fantastic. Okay.
All right, I'll do it. Okay, well, okay. Hi, I'm Alyssa Hirsch, and this is Shelley Lane. Shelley Lane.
Shelley.
And we're co-leaders of the San Mateo County chapter of Weston A. Price. So who was Weston A. Price? Weston A. Price was a dentist in the 1930s who noticed a deterioration in the mouths of his patients who were beginning to eat at that time the standard American diet. So he took this on as a quest and wanted to figure out why this was happening. And he did so by traveling the world to investigate indigenous cultures in civilized and more primitive areas, all of whom, it turns out, didn't have tooth decay and didn't have the issues that he was seeing in American mouths, but they were near more populated areas, less isolated areas that were, and when people moved from the more rural or cleaner areas to the more populated areas, they too began to experience the same kind of deterioration in their health and in their dentistry, in their mouths. So it was in their facial structure, and well, I think it was evident in their body types also. So this organization is named after this explorer and dentist, and is aimed at educating in a very clear research way about health and education. You want to say anything more about that?
And I think what's significant, one of the things that's significant and stands out than other people talking about diet and health, is that he's connecting the dots between farming and what's happened to our soil and the depletion and the, I don't want to hear myself so loud, and the lack of nutrient-dense food that we are consuming. And we'll talk more about that as we go through some points.
Okay. So Weston A. Price is a strong voice against processed and imitation foods. I think probably everybody here knows what those are: artificial color, flavor enhancers, thickeners, shelf life extenders, sweeteners, crispers, and often cheap and detrimental ingredients. That's the way you don't go. This is the kind of food you learn to avoid when you start cooking with whole ingredients. Okay, he's a champion of traditional fats, and like I grew up in the era of low-fat, non-fat, and it turns out that was much to my detriment and probably many of you here as well. The fats found in foods that versus mechanically extracted fragile vegetable oils which oxidize when heated and become rancid, and other chemicals cover up that taste. So traditional fats are lard, coconut oil, chicken fat, butter, bacon, the kind of fats that are in real foods and can be extracted easily from real foods: avocado oil, olive oil. Many traditional fats contain cholesterol, as does the brain and every cell in our bodies. We need saturated fats. Every cell needs saturated fats to be firm and sturdy and not saggy and flabby. And they protect us from cancer and heart disease.
Yes, we need fat, and we have to now think in the way our ancestors thought about fat, because it was very prevalent throughout, for thousands of years, people were eating fat. We're going to speed this up a little bit. They talk about soy foods and how that you'll see them in everything because they're government subsidized, so it's cheap. So the industry puts them in everything and stretches their dollar that way and is feeding us a lot of soy, which throws off our natural hormonal balance. Girls are developing and maturing earlier. You see 10-year-old girls with breasts. You see boys with breasts, everyone with breasts. And it creates infertility and cancer, and we have to stay away from the soy. And we have pamphlets here that go into more detail. And I'm just going to speed this up a little bit. The Raw Milk Project, now that we have this pasteurized milk, we have more allergies, and people can't eat dairy because of that, because heating the milk, you're killing all the enzymes that help you to digest the product, and you're also losing all the good portions or all the good bacteria and the enzymes, and you have to think about how those animals are raised on the grass where they're supposed to be eating. They're not supposed to be eating grains, so they're healthier, and they don't have antibiotics, and we're getting all that stuff when you're drinking pasteurized milk products. Doesn't matter if it's organic. It's probably better, but you want the raw. Okay, we'll just wrap.
Okay, so Weston A. Price helps you, the consumer, find healthy, nutrient-dense, farm-fresh foods. That's what we exist for. The local chapters reach out to the local community, and the flyers that you have in your hand have a Facebook page for our website where we post things, and we have files that are resources that list as many vendors as we can find from the local farmers markets and ways to purchase these foods with their websites and their information. And then I just want to say that Weston Price is developing a 12 spoons restaurant rating guide, because when you want to go out to eat, you want to know, are there any good restaurants that serve food that hasn't been sprayed, or that meat that has been grass-fed? So this will be launched very soon, and we'll be announcing that on our Facebook page.
Okay, then there's journals over here that you get when you join. And we can talk more about it. We'll be available, sorry.
They'll be available during the break as well. So, okay, a little bit short on our opening forum, but are there any questions that you have? Are there burning questions around health or nutrition, anything along those lines?
Yeah, I'd like to know if there's any recommendations for something like Fitbit that will record the following: heart rate, blood pressure, sleep, blood sugar, temperature, your steps, and record it over time. Does anybody know of anything?
Yeah, I don't know if you were here when I had DinoSense when Raymond was here, but dinosense.com, they're not out on the market yet, but they'll do blood pressure and 33 metrics. They don't do blood sugar, but there's a company out of San Francisco that's coming out with a patch, but I don't think they're on the market yet either. But there are a few other companies that are doing blood pressure readings with some of that technology. That's not an easy technology to bring, but I've been waiting for the company out of San Francisco. I'll look on my phone and tell you what it is a little bit later. Blood sugar. No, no, you're not going to find blood sugar in a all-in-one. The all-in-one is DynoSense, but they're a device that is a one-time measurement. So, but it measures 33 metrics. So there's just a ton of data. I've luckily been with the company a couple of years now, so I've had a device for about 3 or 4 months now. But and they're yeah, they're very close to an FDA Class 2 device approval, but it could happen any month or any time now. Hold on.
Anybody has a recommendation for information about the dangers or the concerns about cataract surgery?
That's a good question. I don't have anything right off on that.
I have some information about ways you can help keep your eyes healthy. So my view is cataracts are a buildup of, well, so yeah, I know nothing about the surgery, but if you want to talk to me after, if you're interested.
Hold on.
So first, as a person who's had the surgery, it works really well, and you'll see really well. My dad, who was maybe 80 years old at the time he got it, or 85, I forget which, had it, and so I think there are dietary ways of doing this, and I could talk to you about some, but I'm under a non-disclosure agreement about what, but I can put you in touch with the person if you're interested in pursuing that. But I will say that for a person who is older, the challenge is going to be more difficult to do it, and you might just go for the surgery, especially if you have some insurance that'll cover it.
Any complications with the surgery that you know of?
No, not really. No. And you can see remarkably well with it. If you consider it's problematic if you've had LASIK surgery and you try to do the cataract surgery on top of it. That's more difficult. I could talk to you about that too.
I always recommend too with healing stuff, from surgeries, get some great vitamin C. There's also a product made by Perk called Repair Guard that has quercetin. Quercetin is my favorite supplement. It's amazing. So, okay.
I can only speak to my dog, and I give her homeopathic drops, and it has reduced her cataracts significantly. I'm trying to remember that it's something like, it's an ophthalmology, the brand is ophthalmology something, and it's, but anyway, I've noticed a change for sure in her drops, and I definitely don't do them 3 times a day, which I should, but they've gotten better.
So I don't know that much about cataract specifically, but I reversed my myopia. I had a -4 prescription, and I reversed it enough to pass the driver's test, and that was in 2011. I had glasses for 12 years, and so there's a thing called the Bates method. And so Dr. William Bates was an eye surgeon at the late 1800s, early 1900s, and there is stuff written about reversing cataracts. So I would definitely look into the Bates method. But also, both my parents did get the cataract surgery, and they're pretty happy with it. But I think the other thing is that they don't know why the person needs the cataract surgery. So, like, what is actually the condition that's changing it? Like, I wouldn't just think it's just age or something. I'd actually look at, the mechanisms and try to understand it more. But yeah, Bates method.
BATES. There's also Mayor Schneider in San Francisco. I think he actually learned a little bit from Bates as well, but has a practice up in San Francisco that he's really good too with eyes. No, he actually was born legally blind, and when he turned 18, he started finding things and couldn't get a driver's license, and by the time he was 21, with his study and knowledge, he was able to reverse his eyesight, get a driver's license, and then he's, been practicing that and teaching eye exercises and things for, gosh, I don't know, a couple of decades or so, but he's very good. Meir, M-E-I-R. Schneider, I think it's S-C-H-N-E-I-D-E-R. Yeah, school, thank you. School for Self-Healing in San Francisco.